And we are underway in Buffalo. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their rookie QB, the young man out of Oregon.
Tell you what, partner, he might just be a rookie, but he certainly looks the part of a veteran NFL starter, and he carries himself like one leading the offense out there. In a lot of ways, he is advanced as a first-year quarterback, and he came in and was right at home with this offense.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Nix to throw right away. He'll get this to his tight end, Troutman. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up 2nd down.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. From the 41, here's a 2nd and 4. They'll go play action with Nix. Man open, he's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. That one, a gain of 20 and a 1st down. I love that play because in the snow you think run, run, run. Big passing play there.
And defenders hate it, especially in open space, because trying to come under control, break down, and make a tackle in the open field, difficult in normal conditions. In these conditions, almost impossible.
5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
Here's a 2nd and 5. To throw is Nix. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they eventually get to him at the 17 after a pickup of 17. Into the red zone, 1st down.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll. And now they're set up with a 1st and 10.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. To throw, here's Nix. And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. But yet another completion here on this opening drive, and he's now perfect 4 of 4 to start. Pretty solid execution here.
And how about how everyone's handled their nerves? Because you know what it's like to start a ball game. You're so amped up and ready to go, and sometimes the execution isn't there. They've been flawless so far. Well drilled, well prepared, and excited to start this game.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
So now from half the distance closer, here's 1st and goal. Here's Nix. And it's caught. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. 3 yards is the gain that time, 2nd and goal. And a good sign for them right now to have their young quarterback looking confident on the opening drive.
Now, we haven't met a young quarterback, a veteran quarterback. It doesn't matter. We haven't met a quarterback yet that doesn't tell us he's confident about his abilities, right?
That's true.
But when you're young, it's really important to get off to a good start because it does build up that confidence. It allows him to play better as the game goes on.
Especially crucial here on the road.
Chances are good he's going to be a very busy guy. 2 catches already in this opening drive, and they were looking his way for a 3rd.
I think they put this defense on notice that that could be a really, really frequent combination. I can't imagine we'd see another throw here. 3rd and goal from the 1. Williams. Yeah, Williams is going to be stopped short of the yellow line. He did not get there. Only a yard there, so it brings up 4th and goal. A very early decision to be made here.
There is, and I think that because they're the home team, I would ride that wave a little bit, and I would gamble and go for it. Doesn't seem like it's optimal, but you're the home team. You'll get the support of the crowd all game long. Go get it right now. Put 6 on the board.
The kick by Lutz is good. So 3 points on the board, as easy a field goal as you're going to get, but I can see you shaking your head.
I love that peripheral vision of yours, partner, because to me, if it's the fourth quarter and you're up 6, I get it. But now, even if you run and don't get in, you're still setting them up to go a long field, 98, 99-yard drive. How do you look at your defense and not give them that opportunity?
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Out comes the offense for the Bills, led by their quarterback at 6'5". That's Josh Allen.
I remember when he came out of Wyoming, the big question mark, could he be accurate enough to be a star in the NFL? I think it's safe to say he's put all of us in our place and put those doubts to rest. He can roll out and run it. He can bomb it over your heads. Everything in between. He is an absolute nightmare for defenses to try and prepare for. And when he's on, he's an MVP caliber player each and every time he takes the field.
The first carry now. This is Johnson. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
Allen going to throw. That's caught by his tight end, Dawson Knox. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. Give him 18 on that one as the Bills are going to have a first down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
He takes this for about 6 down inside the 40.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
2nd down and 4. Now Allen. Finding Knox there, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive. A pretty solid opening drive here, Charles. They've worked in the run game, the pass game, just steadily getting yards, and now they've got it inside the red zone here with an opportunity.
And the only thing they don't have so far is points. But the way that they're moving the ball now, that shouldn't take much longer. And they've established a great balance so far, running, passing, doing what they want on offense.
So the completion good for 6 yards, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his 3rd completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
And the Bills are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line.
And sometimes when you run a screen pass down in the red zone, it's really tough to create a lot of room to operate. The field's pretty condensed, but that was really well designed there, and they're able to pick up a first down.
They'll run with Cook. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4.
That's good power football on 1st and goal. A lot of teams will throw from there, but that's a nice job to chew up a few more yards and get yourself closer to the goal line.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. Johnson. He is not going to advance very far. He'll be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on third, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that second down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Disastrous outcome there on 3rd and goal. They lose 9 yards on the sack.
We always talk about how teams are so competitively matched and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal? That's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. So on 4th down, off goes Allen. On comes Tyler Bass for the Buffalo field goal. The kick by Bass is good. And the Bills are going to tie the game at 3. So a return of serve, so to speak, here on the second drive of our game as they respond to that opening field goal with 3 of their own.
I like that. Going a little tennis on me.
I know you. You like to mix it up with sports.
They crack a forehand back out and they get a backhand. What was the serve? What was the return on?
It was a backhand. And a really good backhand.
Get some nice top spin on the whole thing. I love it. Almost a mirror image when you really get down to it. I thought that was pretty good stuff.
Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And they'll stop him after a gain of a couple to the 33. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
3rd down and 6. Oh, a design run for their wideout. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
On 4th down, it's Riley Dixon on now to kick it away for Denver. Back deep is Brandon Codrington. Fielded just inside the 20. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. So here come the Bills out for their second drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Up the middle, Johnson. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5. Allen. And the Broncos get there and take him down. DJ Jones coming right up the gut. Gets in there for a loss of 9.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. Running from the gun, Johnson. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37.
Well, we've seen running backs in today's NFL get involved in the passing game. Maybe it's about time more receivers like that get involved in the running game.
And that is something we are seeing more and more in this league, no question about it. That wasn't the biggest of gains, but it was enough to get them a 1st down. And it continues to test the defense. They have to think on every play about who might end up with the ball.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 10 yards, good enough for a Buffalo 1st down. There was a little space there, yes, but that was a well-executed run by the rookie.
It was, and he wasn't one of the higher-rated rookie running backs coming out. He's probably on the next tier. But let me tell you something. If he becomes more consistent and continues to have that drive to be one of the best, we'll see more of that in the future.
And he'll be taken down here as it will take us to the end of the 1st quarter. These two teams all tied after 1. Second quarter now in Buffalo. It's the Bills in control of the football as they've got it with a 2nd down and 2 coming up. Option play. Here's Cook. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to see?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches. So now on 4th down, Sam Martin on to punt for Buffalo. And Marvin Mims deep for Denver. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field.
And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
They'll start out here with a jet sweep. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, they gave up a few yards there, but all in all, I think it's a pretty nice job defensively against the jet sweep. If they don't slow him up, he might take it to the house, so they'll take that play every time on the defensive side of the ball.
From the 24 now, here's a 2nd and 8. Now it's Nix. Quickly into the hands of Mims.
So the completion good for 7 there. And now 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
And I think he just wanted to get the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area. And after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, it's almost football 101 that you preach to your safeties. Don't let anyone get behind you. You're the last line of defense. But he didn't let the play come to him. He went to the play. How about that read and recognition and finishing off that one behind the line of scrimmage?
4th down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. This is taken at the 18. 51 yards on the punt there. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Back now on offense, the Buffalo Bills. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. Throwing to start the drive. Allen.
Into the hands of the tight end, Dalton Kincaid. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a 1st down.
A 1st down carry for Davis. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
This to the tight end, Kincaid.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point that continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Allen now looks to throw. Working the middle here, that's complete to Knox, the tight end. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot. Up the middle, it's Cook. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen, eluding the pressure right. Allen, nifty footwork. And they move this all the way down to the 9. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
I am willing to bet that he got a monster grin on his face when he saw what was happening. Man covers were so committed to denying a big throw that it pulled attention away from him, and he had an easy lane to hit, and hit it he did.
And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
From the gun, it's a give to Cook. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. To the air, Allen. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Mac Hollins from 4 yards out. And the Bills have taken the lead.
An excellent, long, sustained offensive drive. And now they can look across the field and see a defense that looks a little bit beaten down. Right now, as an offensive coordinator, you're thinking to yourself, can I dial up the knockout punch?
It's Tyler Bass on for the extra point attempt. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it ends in a Buffalo touchdown. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Now a 2nd and 2. Off the play fake, Nix.
Throwing left side, it's complete. And he's got a first down as the tackle made at the Bills' 31-yard line. 19 yards that time for number 19.
2nd and short, that's a rundown, so it's definitely a good time to go play action if you're feeling it. And they do so and pick up a first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
A carry from McLaughlin.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10.
41 yards rushing for him now, and he's only carried the ball 4 times.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Throwing Nix.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. It'll be a gain of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule.
That's into the hands of McLaughlin.
And he is going to lose yardage here. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And 3rd and 8 now.
Well, it looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
The Broncos on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 8. And that is incomplete. The Buffalo defense does its job, and it's 4th down.
I tell you what, that's a veteran play from a guy in his first season in the NFL. A lot of rookies are trying to force something there. He thought better of it, and that was the right decision.
Now Lutz for the field goal try. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. The kick by Lutz is good, and that'll bring him back within 4.
Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. And I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away.
And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Bills offense and Josh Allen heading back out again. He hasn't had a ball touch the ground yet. 8 of 8 throwing it. Perfect so far, including the touchdown on the last drive, you remember, as they begin 1st and 10 here.
From the gun, it's Allen. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
From the 31, here's 2nd and 2.
From the gun, a run for Johnson.
And he will get enough for a 1st down, and that will lead us to the 2-minute warning.
Now Allen. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
Textbook coverage right there. Played the ball, never lost sight of where it was headed, and stayed in perfect position to make a play on it. Able to keep the receiver and the quarterback in his sight lines.
2nd and 10.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. So the shotgun snap to Allen.
That's taken in. It's Keon Coleman.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. A give to Cook out of the gun. And able to pick up the first across midfield to the 47. 9 yards that time.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
Here's Allen to throw it. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
Motion man is Shakir.
To throw, it's Allen.
A short throw pulled in by Kincaid.
And he's taken down inside the 30.
19 yards there on the catch and run.
Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half.
You don't always expect tight ends to be big in terms of run after the catch, but after that play, he joins a growing band of players that's putting that stereotype right on its ear.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Throwing now is Allen. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left. Allen off the play fake. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle.
The kick by Bass is good.
And that'll open the lead up to a touchdown now at 13-6.
So a late 3 there, and that'll help as they head into the break.
Talk about situational football and something they've worked on since the OTAs and mini camps the previous summer. They take care of the ball, get 3 points, knowing they're going to get the ball to start the second half. That's the old 2-for-1 special to finish things off.
Four seconds, all that remain here in this first half as the kick gets away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line.
A final shot before break. Nix. He'll air this one out from Mims. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. Second down. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Coach, yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far.
Not much has changed since we left you at halftime. The snow still continuing to fall as we are back underway. Unable to corral him. He fights through.
And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
Out come the Bills now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter.
And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I liked what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see 1 or 2 guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
For a tight end, he's got good straight line speed, and on that route, he's often the guy that gets overlooked. Nice job there finding him in stride for really good yardage.
A first down carry here for Johnson. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Back to the ground. This time, Cook. Nice move. Well, they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. 14 yards, and the Bills will get a new set of downs. They've got the lead early here in the third quarter, and runs like that are how they establish that lead in the first half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead because they are leading from the front, pounding on the defense right now with the running game, and truly establishing themselves here in the second half.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 37-yard line. In motion left here, one of their tight ends. They run again on 1st down. Cook, and he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 52 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
2nd down and 6 now.
A give up the middle to Johnson. And a short gain here down to the 22.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. Here's Allen. It's Knox, the tight end, making the catch. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be 4th and short.
The kick by Bass is good. And the Bills will add on to their lead.
And they picked up right where they left off in the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get, keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
So after knocking through the field goal, here's Bass to kick it away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half.
And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
They'll start on the ground here on first down.
They'll get a yard, that's all, as they get him down at the 28.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on third down. And you know what offenses want? Win first down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on first down.
Now 2nd and 9. On the handoff, McLaughlin.
And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
A third down now. Those last two plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
First down, here's Estime. And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Now a give up the middle to Williams. And he'll take it across midfield and into Buffalo territory. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
As we both know, there was a lot that went into why they made him their first-round pick this year, and part of it was what they saw in college, his playmaking ability when things break down. As soon as he saw he wasn't getting a lane to throw, he pivoted and found an alternate way to the marker.
The give is to McLaughlin. Down at the 35, it'll be second down.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Up the middle, it's Williams. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. That one 28 yards on the ground. If they're going to try to complete this comeback, they need more runs like that from him because until that point, he's been virtually shut down.
And based on where they are right now in this game, you would expect the ball to be in the air. But his ability to break off those types of runs, you can get big chunk plays on the ground as well, and he just provided one.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
They'll go play action with Nix.
And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line.
Terrell Bernard getting in there to drop him for a sack.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, it took a sack on first and goal. But that close to the goal line, it still definitely hurts.
Three red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on second and goal here.
To throw is Nix.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. A huge win defensively there on the sack, setting him back 12 yards. And now third and goal.
Second goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
They need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's third and goal.
They'll try and throw. Here's Nix.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Also a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while. But when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
The kick by Lutz is good, and this is back down to a 7-point game. So 3 points, maybe not a grand prize at this stage, but it does get them back within 1 score.
It certainly does, because now they stay within shouting distance. So that means everyone on your sideline stays engaged in this game. They know they still have a shot.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking, because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense.
Yeah,
run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try and increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Allen now throwing to start the drive. Got it complete to Khalil Shakir. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. Allen going to throw. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
When you run in the slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Josh Allen, very athletic at 6'5", showing the versatility, picking up the first on the scramble.
Well, he and his offense were staring down what was likely a 3-and-out. Zero fear from his side, though. Never doubted for a second they pick up the first. He's ready to pull the trigger on a keeper the moment it revealed itself.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 47. On play action, Allen works right side into the hands of the tight end Knox. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the 1st down.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Allen. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
3rd quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. Motion man is Shakir.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. Call that a gain of 5 as the clock ticks inside of 2 minutes to go now in the 3rd. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. And again, it's Allen. Open man is Samuel, complete. And it's not going to be enough here. A gain of 4, about 2 feet short of the marker, 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the 1st down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it.
So on 4th down, off goes Allen. On comes Tyler Bass for the Buffalo field goal. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. The kick by Bass is good, and the Bills will add on to their lead. So the lead grows here incrementally, but I think the way their defense is playing, you feel okay with just getting through.
They've definitely been stout so far, but now that can all change because if one guy gets loose for 70 yards, this is a different game. But as it stands, field goals are good. Just keep adding to that lead.
So after knocking through the field goal, here's Bass to kick it away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So the Broncos coming out now. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score.
On play action, here's Nix. That is caught by Vele.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and it's 2nd down. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Buffalo. It's the Broncos trailing, but they do have possession of the football as we begin quarter number 4.
Nix to the air. A short one to the tight end, Troutman.
Oh, he's got some breathing room.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
That one good for 26 and a 1st down.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 38. Now a handoff. Here's Williams.
And a very determined run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 27. Good effort. 43 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score.
Marvin Mims,
27 yards.
And the Broncos have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated it on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answer for that right there.
Will Lutz on for the point after. And the lead is down to a field goal now. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it ends with a Denver touchdown. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here.
Their lead back down to one score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10.
Now Allen. Little pitch and catch to the tight end, Knox. Call it a gain of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's a 2nd down and 9.
Allen now looks to throw. He'll dump this off to Cook. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 10 yards, good enough for a Buffalo 1st down.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
Jumpy on the right side of the line.
Sometimes when you're on the end, a little bit farther away from the ball, any type of movement will get you to jump, and that's exactly what happened there.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. They'll bring a tight end in motion left. Cook following the penalty. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
On running plays, linemen, of course, have their assignments. That's expected. But it's not often you're expecting to see a cornerback blitzing in run support and tackling the runner for a loss.
Now a 2nd and 6.
To the air, Allen.
Quick slant to Shakir.
It'll go as a gain of 4, and that'll leave them with a 3rd and 2.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they've put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Allen from the gun on 3rd down. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. A pickup of 5 that time and a 1st down.
And that pickup of a 1st down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
Yeah, this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
Second down and a yard.
Now Allen again. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Coleman. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Up the middle, Johnson.
And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone.
11 yards and a Buffalo 1st down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
That is caught inside the 5.
And the Bills are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up.
Cook is in. Touchdown, Bills.
And that right there is a definition of a statement drive. You're in the 4th quarter, trying to get to the finish line, and here they were able to hold the ball for a long time and move it down the field. And how about them finishing it off with the touchdown run? Winning football 101? Check that box.
Here's Bass now for the extra point.
And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive.
And it was James Cook capping all of that off with a touchdown run. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And the football going back over to the Denver Broncos. And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the 4th quarter. This drive becomes very critical. They'll begin on the ground with Estime.
A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
If they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on 1st down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive.
Here's a 2nd and 9 now from the 29. To throw, here's Nix.
Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
But he'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
The Broncos on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 9.
Throwing Nix.
He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
Nice call on defense, rolling out the nickel package for that big 3rd down play, and he did an excellent job locking down coverage and forcing him to try and run for it, and he doesn't get there, which brings up a big 4th down call.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
They'll go for it. Here's Nix. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You stop to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Williams. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Here's a 2nd and 8.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
That's taken in left side by Vele.
And he's got a 1st down as the tackle made at the Bills' 30. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
It's a nice completion and a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you?
Mims in motion left. And they'll fake the jet sweep and instead give up the middle to Williams.
Down to about the 22 here.
52 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
From the 22 now, here's 2nd and 3. Operating from the gun, here's Nix. A throw over the middle, taken in by Troutman.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. But correct me if I'm wrong, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Here's Nix.
And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28.
Multiple defenders getting home there for a loss of 11.
This rookie was already being tested as he tries to lead a comeback here in the second half. Now he's got to get some momentum back after that sack and a big loss.
Now they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
Now throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Now it's Nix.
And that will be incomplete as well. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. And this will be a 45-yard attempt. The kick by Lutz is good. And this is back down to a 7-point game.
So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Bills offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And you get a look at the numbers, they don't even tell the whole story. This has been a tremendous performance to this point. Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. Their lead back down to 1 score after the field goal a moment ago, so they'll be looking to string together a few first downs, likely on the ground as they begin 1st and 10.
And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
His running ability has been an extra dimension of their game plan thus far. For once, though, he doesn't create any magic against a front that's prepared for him to try and take off.
In motion, Hollins.
Here's Allen to throw it.
Finding Knox there, complete.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Davis. He'll try and run some clock. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game.
From the 47, it's 2nd and 5. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
Third and 4.
Back to throw. Allen. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Here's Sam Martin now as he'll kick it away for the second time. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback.
Denver's offense ready to go again. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air. As we take you through some of the action from earlier, this secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
I know a lot of people won't like the draw called in that situation, but every now and then that pops big. In this case, it didn't happen.
They'll come up now on 2nd down.
They'll look to throw.
If they get a game-changing score on this drive, it's going to be because of plays like that. That run was pure heart. Took it himself, found a way to reset the downs, and advance the ball.
Just the one timeout remaining as they try to navigate this 2-minute drill. 1st and 10.
And some room to maneuver. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. Well, there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the fourth quarter, picking up the first.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time. And that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
This crowd turning up the decibel level. It's 3rd and long.
He'll look to throw.
A throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
2 huge plays there down the stretch. The sack on 2nd down. Now they force the incompletion. That's going to lead to a do-or-die 4th down.
And they look like they've got the confidence right now that no matter what gets thrown against them, but whatever play gets run, they have the ability to shut it down. They're just brimming with it right now.
They're going. It's Nix. Oh, and that That's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. Teron Johnson able to pick it. And the Bills have just about sewn up this football game.
Well, it certainly felt like he was going to challenge this defense no matter what, and he stepped up and tried to throw it to the outermost edge of the zone coverage, and they were more than ready for him. The problem now is if they are limited in what they're doing throwing the football, they got to figure out how to move it without being able to throw it to the outside and throw it downfield.
Allen down to a knee, and that should just about do it. So it's a victory here for the Buffalo Bills. And despite the cold, despite the snow, this one was fun to watch. And I want to thank you for bringing two things, the space heater and the hot chocolate. Those were a big help for us here in the booth.
Yeah, just so you know, in the future, get your own space heater. Okay, I'm an only child. I don't share very often. But this had to bring out like the 12-year-old in us, didn't it? I mean, to be able to watch this. And let's face it, when you were that age, you didn't come inside until mom screamed, "Get inside now, young man," because you wanted to be out there just having a good time. And actually, you almost forgot just how cold it was. I'm sure these guys didn't, but they ended up playing just like those 12-year-olds and getting it done.
I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.